Hey guys, I've established a very major trend that is indicative of a huge pump on the way for Bitcoin quite soon. It doesn't necessarily have to be a huge pump, but it definitely will be upwards price action. We've already established in the past few videos that Bitcoin's ready to make a move either by even tomorrow or it could be as late as something like the 16th of January. But the point is, a move is coming in the month of January. Now, this trend I've identified is separate to that. It's a trend relating to the DXY, and it's when we see death crosses, which is a cross between the 50 SMA and the 200 SMA on the DXY, we generally see, and not even generally, we always see a huge pump on the Bitcoin price chart, or at least a sizable rally on the Bitcoin price chart. Guess what? We've just seen a couple of days ago a death cross on the DXY, and so this is indicative of a big move coming to Bitcoin shortly. Before we get into the video, check out the pinned comment, check out the description. We've got a VIP sale, 6 days remaining on the VIP sale, 30% discount on all VIP 3-month subscriptions. Go ahead and check all that out. You can also find the results for Q4 in the VIP group. You can find out how to trade. We've got a university type course called the Crypto Academy in the pinned comment description as well. If you want to learn how to trade, you can check that out as well. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get into the video and let's analyze this trend. So just for some background information, I spoke about it briefly in the intro, but I'll speak about it again here. Generally speaking, in bear markets, Bitcoin sees a downtrending RSI resistance line. When we break that resistance line, it ends the bear market. We've seen that resistance line form since as early as December 2020 or January 2021, and we're finally coming to a point in which we're seeing an apex on this RSI triangle. We will be breaking that to the upside or potentially even the downside, although I see it as unlikely, basically by either tomorrow on the weekly candle close or as late as January 16th, which is the latest possible point we could do that. So we've got a major move here for Bitcoin that's brewing on the RSI. Looking at the shorter term charts, it doesn't look particularly pleasant. However, we could see a reversal of some sort. We've got an ascending wedge formation. We've got bearish divergence. We've got extremely low volume. I'm not going to act like the short term looks great. It really doesn't look great at this point in time, but ultimately we need to be looking at that weekly chart RSI. That's the only thing that matters. So knowing that, and knowing that there's a big move coming, and knowing that the 4-year cycle predicts the bottom is in or will be in very shortly, we can understand that Bitcoin has either bottomed out or it's very, 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 very close to bottoming out. And if it doesn't do either of those things, well, then it's basically stuffed and it's going to go down the S&P 500 and bottom out in 2024. That's basically the general consensus here that we can make on the charts. It's either bottomed, very close to bottom, or it's not going to bottom till 2024. That's what I'd say about Bitcoin. And I'm leaning towards the argument that it's either bottomed or very close to bottom, of course, because I believe in the 4-year cycle theory. So knowing that there's a major move coming, we need to look into evidence to see where that move will go. And obviously, again, I'm a big believer it'll be to the upside. Now, what I've analyzed and what I've been looking at for the past, I think, week or so at this point, and I think a couple of other analysts have probably picked up on this by now because the DXY is a very commonly looked at chart. Now, I haven't specifically seen anyone talk about it, but I'm assuming someone has. What we have here is the DXY. Now, the DXY is the US dollar currency index. It essentially measures the strength of the US dollar in relation to other currencies, okay? So when this thing goes up, the US dollar is getting stronger. When it goes down, the US dollar is getting weaker. When this thing goes down, it gives strength to assets because people are purchasing assets with the US dollar. When it goes up, it means it generally coincides with people selling assets because they're selling back into the US dollar, hence making the US dollar stronger because more people are holding it, okay? So that's a general basis of what the chart is. Now, you don't even really need to understand what the chart is to understand the trends it's forming here. We have a very, very, very clear trend that I've plotted out on Bitcoin. When the 50 SMA, the red line, when the red line crosses underneath the green line on the DXY, we see Bitcoin pump, okay? I've gone ahead and I've charted up every single time here on the Bitcoin chart. Every single one of these pink lines is when that happens. Every single one of these pink lines lines up with the date that the red line, the 50 SMA, crossed under the green line, the 200-day SMA, on the DXY. And what you can see here, very simple video, very short and sweet. What you can see is that stemming all the way back from 2012, where the first death cross occurred, after every single death cross, within about a month at the most, we see a massive pump on Bitcoin. After every single DXY death cross, we see a massive pump on Bitcoin. October 2012, okay, we saw the cross, okay? At this point in time, this is probably the most delayed one, but, it took about a month, and after about a month, we started pumping up dramatically. Moving forward even further, September 2013, saw a cross after a few weeks, started moving up dramatically. Okay, looking here, October 2015, saw a cross and we started sloping dramatically to the upside as an angle of trajectory, very, very sharp angle of trajectory there. March 2016, again, saw a cross. We were in a steady uptrend and it blew off about a month after the cross occurred. 2017, May, saw a cross. We continued to the upside. Okay, and then moving forward, December 2019, saw a cross, moved to the upside. Just July 2020, saw a cross after a couple of weeks, moved to the upside. Okay, and recently, we have just seen, as you can see on the DXY chart, we have just seen, just a couple of days ago, a refreshed cross, right? A refreshed cross on the DXY, on the daily chart on the DXY, a fresh cross. Now, looking back at history, right? We had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 separate occasions. We've had 7 that's played out fully. 7 separate occasions. Every single time that occurred, every single time that Def Cross occurred, we saw, yes, sometimes there was a delay before it happened, but we saw a pump. We never saw Bitcoin go downwards afterwards. We never saw Bitcoin go downwards after that Def Cross from the DXY. We only saw upwards price momentum. We've just seen another cross. What does this indicate? It indicates that the move we're going to be seeing very shortly on Bitcoin, the move that's going to be happening in the middle of January, potentially even in the next few days, and starting at least in the middle of January, right? It could ramp up later, but it will start at that point. That move will be an upwards move according to this date range trend, according to this Def Cross trend, and according to all the other trends we looked at in Bitcoin in previous videos, it's more likely than not that this move will be to the upside. So I thought that was very interesting. There's not really much to say about it other than that. I thought it was worth sharing. It's very compelling. 7 data points, 7 separate occurrences of crosses and then upwards price movement. You know, you're getting to the point when you have a number that large of 7 that it becomes more of a trend rather than a coincidence, right? You know, we didn't see even one failure out of all of these 7 times. Yes, we saw some delays. It wasn't immediate. I'm not going to claim it's going to be immediate. But the point of the matter is, every time we see this happen, it leads to bullish price action. And based on that trend, I've got no reason to believe that it won't happen again. Very interesting stuff, guys. I'm actually pretty confident about Bitcoin in the month of January. I do think that this triangle, this RSI triangle, will break to the upside. Even if it doesn't, even if it does break to the downside, we still have a little bit of hope because it could bottom out in January still, and it still would line up with the 4-year cycle. The only thing that can really happen that would really throw me off here is if Bitcoin breaks downwards and it's not bottomed out by February and it's still going down by then. That's when you really start to worry. But other than that, we're in a pretty good position here for Bitcoin. Now, that doesn't mean you should buy, because I'm not saying buy, right? I've been very clear about my buying plan. Okay, my buying plan is very simple. I'm going to be buying when we see a trend reversal, when we see a break above the bull market support band, when we see a break above this yellow line, when we see a break above a 200-day SMA. I already bought half at 17K. I will buy the rest of my Bitcoin when we see a trend reversal. I'm not going to try and catch a falling knife. But the point is, it's looking pretty promising. I think people are overly bearish right now, and I stand by that. And I've been saying that ever since the end of a drop for FTX, right? During this consolidation period from June to October, I was bearish. I was very bearish. I was saying Bitcoin's going to go down further for sure. At this point, I'm not too sure about that. Right? I don't think it's as certain as people think it is that Bitcoin will drop downwards to 10K. I just don't think it is. And even if Bitcoin does go downwards, I don't see it as possible as likely for Bitcoin to go down below 11.5K. That's where I see the absolute bottom. And again, I don't think we're going to be going downwards into February 2023. Sorry, I think anything past February would dramatically hurt the macro structure for Bitcoin and not really be a good situation. Obviously, it's possible, but I don't think it's likely. So good news, guys. That trend there, I don't think many people have seen that before. It's a fresh trend. It's very interesting. We'll have to monitor it closely. Obviously, we're literally counting down the hours here until the weekly candle close. We could be seeing that confirmation of a break to the upside of downside literally within 17 hours. If not, it will be next week. So time's ticking. Important stuff, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. Please stick around for this Bitget advertisement, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers. I want to briefly interrupt this video to talk about the Bitget Exchange. The Bitget Exchange has 5 times lower fees than Binance, which is the biggest major exchange in the cryptocurrency market on futures. It also has 0 fees on every single spot pair, so you can trade spot for entirely free, no fees included. It runs events. Right now it's got a FIFA World Cup event sponsored by Messi, the football player. It's got copy trading, strategy trading. It's got exclusive rewards and discounts in the reward center. It's got everything you need for a trader using an exchange. This is the exchange I personally use as a trader for my everyday trading, and I highly recommend everyone does so at the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. Sign up using my referral link for exclusive rewards and discounts. That really helps out the channel, and I appreciate it. For my fans from the United States of America, you can sign up using this exchange with a VPN and use the exchange with a VPN and just sign up using my referral link like normal, and you'll be treated like a normal customer because this is also a non-KYC exchange. So make sure to sign up using my referral link in the pinned comment or the description below, and without further ado, let's get back into the video.